Hey everyone, welcome to the Bold and the Beautiful. I'm Amma and I'm so excited to have you here. If you love bold and beautiful update, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Alright, let's dive right in. I never thought one moment could change my entire life. But the day I heard my baby's heartbeat for the first time, everything shifted. I walked into that ultrasound room thinking I was just showing up out of obligation. I wasn't in love with Luna, and honestly, I didn't even know if I could be a father. But then, there it was. That tiny, steady sound, my child's heartbeat. And in that instant, fear turned into something else, something fierce, something protective. I knew my life would never be the same. This story isn't about me and Luna. It's about the little life we created, and the fight to protect it no matter what it takes. Will reacts to Luna's ultrasound. Emotional baby bonding begins. I never thought my life would take the turn it did. If you asked me a year ago where I saw myself, I would have said something simple, maybe working toward a career, building something of my own outside of my father's shadow, maybe even traveling a little, figuring out who I was as a man. Never in a million years would I have said, expecting a baby with Luna Nazawa. But here I am. When Luna first told me she was pregnant, I swear the air went out of the room. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was drowning, but no water was there. Just me, my own choices, and the consequences staring me in the face. I remember staring at her, her hand protectively resting on her stomach, her eyes lit up with this strange mix of fear and excitement. She looked at me like I was supposed to say something comforting, something life-changing, like I was supposed to become the man she imagined me to be in that very second. But I didn't have the words. And the truth is, I wasn't sure I had the heart. When my mom, Katie, found out, God, the disappointment in her eyes gutted me more than anything Luna ever said. My mom has always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. She's been my anchor, my voice of reason, my safe place. And now she looked at me with this silent pain, like she was asking, how did we get here, Will? How could you let this happen? And then there was my dad, Bill Spencer. He didn't yell, at least not right away. He didn't throw his usual fire-breathing speeches about responsibility or the Spencer name. No, he just sat there quiet, staring off into space like he was recalculating his entire life. That silence was worse than any lecture. I would have taken the yelling, the anger, the swearing, anything but that silence, because in that silence I knew he was blaming himself. And maybe he should. After all, he was the one who pulled strings to get Luna out of prison, to give her a second chance. A chance she blew the second she started manipulating and scheming her way into my life. I'll be honest, I didn't love Luna, not in the way she wanted me to. She dreamed about marriage, family, forever. But to me, she was chaos wrapped in a pretty face. She was temptation and trouble rolled into one. I'd been drinking the night it happened, and I was stupid. Reckless. Careless, and now here we are, pregnant. It wasn't until the day of the first ultrasound that everything shifted for me. I remember walking into that sterile room, the air filled with the faint scent of disinfectant. Luna was lying back on the exam table, a paper gown covering her body, her hands folded neatly on her lap like she was already rehearsing for the role of devoted mother. She smiled when she saw me walk in, her eyes shining with that familiar look, like this was all playing out exactly as she'd fantasized. But I wasn't there for her. I kept telling myself that over and over again, I'm not here for Luna. I'm here for the baby, for my baby. The doctor dimmed the lights and rolled the machine closer, and suddenly everything in the room felt heavier. The whir of the ultrasound machine filled the silence, and I swear my chest tightened with every passing second. And then, there it was. That faint, rhythmic sound, like a tiny drumbeat echoing through the speakers. The heartbeat. My child's heartbeat. I don't know how to explain it, but something broke inside me in that moment. All the denial, all the fear, all the anger I'd been carrying, it cracked, and in its place something else grew. Something fierce. Something protective. Something I didn't even know I was capable of. I leaned forward, staring at the black and white image on the screen. It didn't look like much, just a blur, really, but it was real, it was alive. My child. My eyes burned, and I had to blink fast because the last thing I wanted was for Luna to see me cry. She'd take it the wrong way, twist it into proof that I was falling for her, proof that her dream of us being a family was coming true. But the truth was, those tears weren't for her. They were for that tiny little heartbeat, for the life I never imagined but suddenly couldn't imagine living without. Luna reached out, trying to take my hand, and I pulled back gently, shaking my head. "Don't," I whispered. My voice cracked, but I meant it. "This isn't about us, it's about the baby." She nodded, but I could see it in her eyes. She didn't believe me. She thought she had me hooked. She thought that heartbeat bound me to her forever. And maybe in a way it did, but not in the way she was hoping. Because in that moment I knew one thing for sure: I was going to protect this child, with everything I had, from Luna, from myself, from the world. After the appointment, I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd heard, what I'd seen. That heartbeat replayed in my head over and over again, like a song stuck on loop. I heard it in my sleep, in the shower, while brushing my teeth. And with it came this overwhelming sense of responsibility. I wasn't just Will Spencer anymore. I was someone's father. I went home that night and sat in the dark for hours, just staring at the ceiling, my hands shaking. My mom came in eventually, sat beside me, and didn't say a word. She didn't need to. She just let me sit there in silence until I finally whispered, "Mom, I'm scared." She took my hand, squeezed it tight, and said the words I didn't even know I needed to hear. "So was I when I was pregnant with you, but fear doesn't mean you won't be a good parent. It means you care enough to worry." And that was it. That was the moment I realized I couldn't run from this. I couldn't hide behind excuses or hope it would all go away. This baby was coming, whether I was ready or not. But here's the thing: being ready isn't about having the perfect plan or the perfect partner. It's about showing up. And from that day forward, I promised myself I'd show up. For every ultrasound, every appointment, every milestone. Not for Luna, for my child. And maybe, just maybe, that heartbeat was the start of something bigger than all of us. I thought the first ultrasound would calm me, give me peace, maybe even clarity. But the truth, it only made everything more complicated. Because the moment I heard that heartbeat, the moment I saw that little flicker of life on the screen, I couldn't stop thinking, that's my baby. Not Luna's. Not ours. Mine. And that thought terrified me as much as it grounded me. The days after the appointment were strange. Luna started walking around with this glow on her face, almost like she was wearing an invisible crown. She'd look at me with these soft eyes and smile like we'd already become the perfect little family she kept talking about. She'd say things like, "Our baby's going to have your eyes," or, "I can already picture you holding him for the first time." I'd nod, force a smile, but inside my stomach churned. Because I knew she wasn't hearing me when I said it wasn't about us. I was there for the baby, not for her. But she kept twisting it, bending it, reshaping it in her mind into something else. In her head, she'd already built a picture-perfect life. Me, her, the baby. A house, a marriage, the whole thing. It scared me, honestly. Because I wasn't in love with her, and I don't think I ever would be. One night, I was sitting on my mom's couch, staring blankly at the TV when she came in holding 2 mugs of tea. She sat down beside me, slid a mug into my hands, and just let the silence linger for a moment. Finally, she said, "You're quiet. Too quiet. That usually means you're thinking about something you don't want to say." I sighed, rubbed my eyes, and whispered, "Mom, I don't love her. I never did, and she's talking like we're already married." Mom nodded slowly, no shock on her face, like she'd been expecting me to say it. "I know," she said gently. "I see it too, but this isn't about Luna anymore. It's about that baby. And you're not alone in this, Will, your father and I. We're going to make sure you and that child are okay." Her voice cracked a little, and in that moment I realized something. She was just as scared as I was. But she was also strong, stronger than me, and I wanted to be that strong. For my baby. The second ultrasound appointment hit me even harder. This time, the doctor turned the screen toward us so we could see more clearly. And there it was, tiny little arms, tiny little legs, the shape of a head. My baby wasn't just a blur anymore. It was a person. A tiny, living person who was growing every single day. And then the doctor printed out the pictures and handed them to Luna. She clutched them to her chest like they were a treasure, then looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Look, Will, that's our baby. Can you believe it?" I couldn't answer. My throat was tight, my hands shaking. All I could do was nod. Because believe it or not, I did believe it, and it scared the hell out of me. Later that night, I sat in my room staring at those ultrasound pictures. I traced the outline of that tiny head with my finger, tears slipping down my face. I whispered out loud, like the baby could hear me somehow, "I don't know if I'll be any good at this." But I swear I'll try, I'll protect you, I'll be there, always. It was the first time I really admitted it to myself. I wanted to be a father. Not because Luna wanted it, not because my parents expected it, but because I felt it deep down in my chest, in my bones, in my soul. This little person was mine, and nothing in the world mattered more. But of course, nothing is ever simple when you're a Spencer. My dad called me into his office a few days later. The way he leaned against his desk, arms crossed, told me this wasn't going to be an easy conversation. "Will," he said, his voice low, "I need you to hear me. I don't trust Luna, not with you, not with this baby." I swallowed hard. "Dad, I don't trust her either." "But the baby's innocent. I can't just walk away." He nodded slowly. "Good, because your mother and I are already talking about next steps, custody, protection, making sure this child grows up safe, away from Luna's influence." The word custody hit me like a thunderclap. I hadn't even thought that far ahead, but suddenly, it all made sense. If Luna was as unstable as everyone believed, maybe the best way to protect my child was to keep them away from her. But even as I agreed, even as my dad laid out plans like a general preparing for battle, I couldn't shake the image of Luna clutching those ultrasound photos to her chest, smiling like the happiest person alive. Was I really ready to take that away from her? The weeks rolled on, each appointment deepening my bond with the baby. Every new sound, every movement, every blurry little image on that screen, it was like watching a miracle unfold in slow motion. But with every miracle came the shadow of reality. Luna wasn't going to let go easily. She started talking more openly about marriage, about baby names, about moving in together. She'd put her hand on her stomach in public, looking at me with this expectant gaze, like she wanted everyone to see us as a couple. I felt trapped. But then I'd hear that heartbeat again, and the fear melted away, replaced with something stronger, love. Not for her, but for the tiny life growing inside her. And I knew, no matter how messy it got, no matter how many battles I'd have to fight, I was going to fight them, because that's what fathers do.